Thursday. So let's start with the big story today in the National Football League, where we have another coach in the NFL that has been fired. Not a huge surprise, as the New Orleans Saints lose to the Carolina Panthers on Sunday. That cost Dennis Allen his job. A big favorite, of course, yesterday going in to Carolina. They end up taking the loss. Allen went 18-25 in 2+ seasons in New Orleans, taking over for Sean Payton, failing to make the playoffs twice. Certainly the Saints got off to that great start, 2-0 to start the season, but it has gone downhill ever since. Darren Rizzi will take over as interim head coach of the Saints. They play the Atlanta Falcons coming up this Sunday. Meanwhile, some news from the National Basketball Association as future Hall of Fame coach Gregg Popovich is taking a leave of absence due to health issues. He'll be away from the Spurs, from the team indefinitely. This just reported by ESPN about 30 minutes ago. Gregg Popovich not on the sidelines for the Spurs moving forward. Last night in the National Football League, the Colts made a change at quarterback, and it looked just about how it has all season long, unfortunately for them, as Joe Flacco couldn't get anything going on offense, and the Vikings defense has just been fantastic. They end up beating the Indianapolis Colts and righting the ship, so to speak, with a 21-13 win for the Vikings and Sam Darnold. As I mentioned, their defense dominated. The only touchdown for the Colts, by the way, was a defensive touchdown in this game. So really good news for the Vikings getting back on track. Bad news for the Colts. Seems like they have a major quarterback problem. But let's hear from Kevin O'Connell on the big win for his team at home.
All right, proud of our team. Adversity, absolutely something that I was proud of the way we responded. There was a lot of things that we really wanted to emphasize, starting with our defense. I thought they were really the backbone tonight for us, not only forcing 2 turnovers with Murph and Harry, but just the way they were able to answer the bell, even on a short field there in the second half. Credit to Flo, his staff, and all of our players for that effort. Thought our team limited penalties. I don't think we had any pre-snap things offensively. We really tried to obviously emphasize that. I know it's been talked about at length, but a good example of if we at least start there. I think we averaged almost 6 yards of play, moved it all night. Some critical turnovers, and then we've got even against a good front with a new left tackle, still the expectation is, just to protect Sam a little bit more, give him an opportunity to keep, getting the ball out of his hands. Thought there were some huge performances from Jets. Loved the way, Cam Akers popped a little bit, coming in there, really showing what he's capable of. And then, Jordan Addison's catch was one of the better catches over there in a pretty critical moment.
It was a great day for the Vikings and a bad day again for the Dallas Cowboys. They lost the game to the Falcons and may end up losing their quarterback, Dak Prescott, who left the game with an injured hamstring. He's going to undergo an MRI, but naturally the Cowboys went to Cooper Rush in this game late. They did not pick up a win, and their season's certainly on the brink ahead of the trade deadline. Maybe they'll trade for a quarterback. That deadline, by the way, is tomorrow. Meanwhile, as we mentioned, Cowboys end up losing in Atlanta. Falcons cover the spread. Total was 51.5. 27-21 was the final. Falcons now 6-3 on the season. The Bills and Dolphins slugged it out on offense yesterday. Back and forth they went in the second half of this game. 30-27 the final, as Tyler Bass kicks a 61-yard field goal to pick up the win. Josh Allen also had a nice game. In fact, had a rush for a touchdown called back with a very skeptical holding penalty, I would say. But Allen happy that his team gets the division win.
So proud of him. So happy for him. Got emotional in my little post-game speech out there. Just the trials and tribulations that he's been throughout this year. Obviously missing one early in the day, hitting the pole on another. He could easily put it in the tank, and 61-yard field goal to win a game against a division rival. It's what stories are made of, and I love him. I respect him so much. Everybody in that locker room is so happy for him, and he's our guy.
He was a great kicker, at least for a day, was Tyler Bass. Now, meanwhile, the most exciting game of the day came in overtime in Seattle, as the Rams end up beating the Seahawks by a final of 26-20. Matthew Stafford threw a touchdown pass to Demarcus Robinson. That was the game winner, and 48.5 was the total, so this just went under that. Also, Jared Goff and the Lions, unstoppable. They go to Green Bay. It was rainy. The weather was horrible. And Goff won a bad weather game. I don't want to hear about that anymore. 24-14, the Lions pick up the win. All right, Derrick Henry making his case maybe to be the offensive player of the year in the National Football League. Another big game. He cracks the top 10 all-time in rushing touchdowns. The Ravens annihilated the Broncos by a final of 41-10. Ravens were 8.5-point favorites in this game. The total was 46.5. Bo Nix finally met a match that he could not overcome in the Ravens, but the Broncos, according to Nix, still in a decent spot.
Well, they were obviously really important plays in the game, and if you hit them, you never know what happens at the end of the drive. And we came away with no points on several of those fourth downs, and we just, you never know. So obviously, if you hit those, the game, I guess could change. But a lot of what ifs in this game, and the fact of the matter is, we got our butts kicked. We definitely would have liked to change some of those plays. Definitely wish a few of them went in our favor. But, I guess, like I said, we just got to, hit some of those plays, and you never know what happens in the game. But, we just got to execute better.
Impressive game, I thought, for the Baltimore Ravens in that one in particular. Meanwhile, the good season for the Chargers in the first year of Jim Harbaugh coaching continues. They crushed the Browns 27-10. Jameis Winston on the other side threw 3 interceptions. And meanwhile, the Washington Commanders just keep on winning. They go to New York. They win again. Final score 27-22. Washington was playing without Brian Robinson in this game, but Austin Eckler subbed in, and he scored a touchdown pass. By the way, Washington covers the number. The Giants went for a late 2-point conversion, didn't get it. Cardinals win their third straight. They are charging toward first place in the NFC West. I know, sounds crazy, but it's true. 29-9 over the Bears. Joe Burrow gets things going for the Cincinnati Bengals. They pick up an easy win over the Raiders, 41-24. Raiders also fired some coaches after the game. We'll talk about that in a minute. We mentioned the Saints, of course, losing to Carolina. Titans beat the Patriots late, 20-17. Tony Pollard, big game. Wasn't even supposed to play in this one, and he did, 20-17. And the Eagles beat the Jaguars 28-23. Saquon Barkley, huge game, over 100 yards rushing, also scoring a touchdown. All right, now let's get to the top 25 poll in college football. We're getting ready for the official announcement for the college football playoff, which is coming up later today. Oregon number 1, Georgia number 2, Ohio State 3, Miami moves up to 4, and Texas number 5. Indiana undefeated. They're at 8. Ohio State, of course, beat Penn State on Saturday, 20-13. The head coach of Penn State arguing with the fans after that game. How about the Gamecocks? They upset SEC rival Texas A&M 44-20. As I mentioned, Indiana picks up another win, and Louisville upsets Clemson on the road. The Tigers now have 2 losses on the season. Very quickly, we go to the National Basketball Association. They're reopening an investigation into a 2021 incident involving Los Angeles Lakers center Jackson Hayes after TMZ posted a video Saturday of the altercation between him and his then-girlfriend. Stay tuned. De'Aaron Fox of the Kings playing through injury to his shooting hand. They visit Miami tonight. Paul George will make his season debut against the Suns, where the Suns are 7.5-point favorites over Philly tonight. And Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs are 4.5-point underdogs in Los Angeles tonight against the Clippers.